Hi folks, it's Chef Kevin. Tonight I'm making a turkey dinner, but I'm not using a whole turkey. I'm using a boneless breast of turkey that I purchased from my local grocer. Now, why would you want to do this? Why not use a whole bird? Well, with this whole COVID situation thing going on, we're being warned not to have large gatherings, just keep them small and intimate. So instead of using a whole bird, I'm just cooking the breast. And this is 2¼ pounds. So it's actually enough for 3 people. And I have some basic ingredients here. I have Bell seasoning. This is a very old seasoning dating back before the Civil War. I have some garlic. I have some butter, salt and pepper. Watch how I do it. Okay, I have a half a stick of butter here, so that's 2 ounces of butter, room temperature. You can see how nice and soft it is. So I'm going to add some Bell's seasoning, all natural. It's about a tablespoonful. I'm going to add some salt to that. Sea salt. Add some black pepper, and this is the coarse ground black pepper. This is what I prefer when I'm roasting. So I'm just going to stir that around, mix it up a bit. Very nice. Okay, this is how the breast came packaged. Has a cute little piece of rosemary on it. Okay, I'm just going to cut that off, cut the string off. Okay, I want to put some of the seasoning under the skin. So I'm just going to pull the skin back a bit. I'll take a paper towel, grab a hold of that skin. Trying not to rip it off completely. Okay. Nice little cover. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. I'm going to take some of my butter mixture, put it right on top. Try to get into the folds if you can. Okay. Now, I do like garlic, so what I'm going to do is put some garlic underneath the skin. This is a truffle slicer. And it cuts truffles, or in this case garlic, very finely. Those are wafer thin. I'm going to put that right on top of the turkey breast. Of course, the garlic is optional. Garlic is one of the most frequently used spices in just about any cuisine. So it must be good, right? Very good. I'm going to add a little bit more salt because I know the salt will leach out during the cooking process. Not too much though. Fold that skin right back over. Put some more of the butter and Bell's mixture on top. Just the right amount of butter, hardly anything left. Put that right there. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is tie the breast back up. There is no rocket scientist here. Put the rosemary back on. That was kind of cute, right? Plus it will give it a little more flavor. The Bell's has rosemary in it, as well as other dried spices. Okay, I'm going to finish this off, put a few more bands of twine over it, and then get set up to cook it. Don't go nowhere. Okay, I have a oven-proof cast iron pan here. I'm going to put a tablespoon of butter in there and a little bit of oil. The oil will keep the butter from burning. I'm going to put a little bit more sea salt on the top of that bird, or that breast I should say. Okay, I'm going to put it in just like this. Presentation side up. Now what I'm doing is I'm starting the cooking process. I don't want to put it into the oven with a cold pan. This will give it a head start on the cooking process. And I'm going to finish it in the oven. So I'm going to give this a few minutes. Make it nice and hot. Okay, my fellow foodies. It's been cooking for about 5 minutes, so I started the cooking process. I put some cayenne pepper on top of it, just to give it a nice little color and give it a little heat factor. I'm going to let this cook for another minute, I think. This way the bottom has started to cook. Otherwise, if I didn't do this step, the bottom probably would not have been cooked through enough. So in the meantime, I'm going to set up my oven. Okay folks, putting this in the oven, 350 for 45 minutes. Now, the basic rule of poultry is 20 minutes per pound. This was 2 1/4 pounds, so basically cook time should be 45 minutes. I'm going to check it every 15 minutes or so, make sure that there's enough oil in the bottom to cook. I don't think that's going to be a problem though, because the fat will render out of the skin, and that should be enough oil to cook it perfectly. I can see the oil is already separating from the skin. This is going to come out nice and crispy. And the fat will keep the breast from drying out. You have to be very careful when you're cooking white meat because it can dry out quickly. So that is another reason why I kept the skin on. It'll keep it moist and it'll be more flavorful that way. The skin has flavor to it. Okay, while my turkey breast is cooking away, I'm going to go ahead and make a little side. This is going to be sauteed pearled onions. White pearled onions from Bird's Eye. These are already peeled, so you don't have to do all that hard work. Okay, tablespoon of butter. Half tablespoon olive oil, or grapeseed oil in this case. This was 14 ounces. You can get 4 servings out of that. I'm not going to use all these. I'm going to go ahead and dump in about half. These are right out of the freezer. Going to add a little salt. Going to add a little paprika. Going by the recipe on the bag. Okay, this should take 5 to 8 minutes to make nice and brown. I just added a little Italian herb blend just to give it a little bit more flavor. Okay, these have been cooking approximately 6 minutes on medium-high heat. As you can see, it has a nice color to it. Now the recipe calls for brown sugar. I don't have brown sugar. I do have some honey here. Good tablespoon. And what this does is, of course, it makes it sweeter, but it also gives it a nice glaze. Okay, I'm going to pull these off and reserve them. Okay folks, it's been in 20 minutes. It's looking good. I just basted it. Now I'm going to take a temperature reading. Ideally, I would like 175. Okay, I know you can't see that. That's actually about 165. Okay, I'm going to put it back in for a few more minutes. Okay, I actually took a second reading, and it did say 175, so I'm not putting it back in the oven. Do not want to overcook this. What I am going to do is I'm just going to keep it at a warm temperature, above 140 degrees, and then I'm going to start making my turkey gravy. Okay, this is the cast iron pan that the turkey was cooking in. It has a lot of fond on the bottom, fond, F-O-N-D. Those are little pieces that stick to the bottom of the pan, but they're full of flavor. So I'm going to clean that off with some turkey stock. Going to deglaze the pan. I wish I had some wine, but I don't. Bring that to a boil. What I'm going to do now is pour it through a sieve to get those little burnt pieces out of the gravy. You don't want that. This is what it looks like. There's a fair amount of grease on the top. I'm going to remove some of it, and then return it to the pot. Okay, so I'm going to take a ladle. Okay, back into the pot. It's boiling away. I'm going to add about a cup of turkey stock. Great. And go ahead and add some flour. Now there's already butter in here, so I don't need any more butter. That's a good tablespoon of flour. I'm going to bring this to a boil and let it simmer for about 5 minutes just to get the flour taste out of that, and then I'll have a nice little turkey gravy. Now I just want to show you the turkey before I present it. It is kind of hard to see, but it's very moist. It's not dried out at all. There's no pinkness, so it's cooked but not overcooked. This is going to be a nice meal. And now I'm going to present it. So here it is, folks, your Thanksgiving Day meal by Chef Kevin. Now I know this is not going to get me an award, but I just want to show you how simple and easy it is to make a nice clean meal. Gotta have the gravy. Now, I already tasted these once, but I'm going to taste them again. They're so good. Those are white pearl onions. They're nice and sweet. They have a nice color to them, a nice glaze. I have some yellow rice here with cilantro. I love cilantro and yellow rice. The turkey came out exquisite. This is so moist, it just melts in your mouth. Well, folks, it's not polite to brag, but this came out to be a very nice meal. Hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's kind of long. I'd like to give as much detail as possible. And if you watched any of my other videos, there's no ads and there's no music. And I try to give plain, concise instructions. And if you think I know what I'm talking about, subscribe and like. Have a nice Thanksgiving, and I hope next year will be better. Ciao.